lot of people learned to spell quarantine really fast, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or maybe not all that fast.
Because it was.
There's an E at the
wrong.
end of quarantine.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, that's how they were spelling it wrong? I saw it was either too many A's or too little A's.
No, that's how many A. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to COVideos. We're going to play a fun game. Spell quarantine.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, God, great. It's QUARANTINE.
Yes.
Right.
So, 2 is the right amount of A's.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I swear it wasn't the E that was missing when I saw
Okay, sorry, you finished, sorry.
I was talking about like some of the hashtags I saw going around for quarantine spelled wrong, and it wasn't the E was missing. There was more A's in there.
Okay, first of all, this is fascinating because I don't know where you put an A. Second of all, you can't take out the only E. Then it's quarantine.
Yeah, I know.
People switch it. No, the most popular one I've seen is QUARENTINE.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. They added an E.
God, I'm surprised that I'm not really skinny because you take me on some long walks.
Sorry.
To get exactly where we were.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
In the beginning. Well, okay. All right. Just what's the sound of a knife fight? Would that come through in the mics?
Sure.
Just like the clang, clang, clang.
Yeah.
Of knives. Well, that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's knife fight time.
Whoa! The virus made them choke each other to death. Oh, it's sad. Sad end.
Yeah.
Hate to see that.
Yeah. Choking or cutting? I don't know.
No, I'm just imagining they come in and find, us with our hands around each other's throats. And they're like, whoa.
We Zardoz.
Hey, careful. Don't give it away. We got a lot of more walking to do tonight.
Yeah, I know.
As far as that goes.
Yeah.
No, they just come in and they're like, whoa, did the virus mutate and cause rage? It's like, no, podcasters. I can see the mics.
Are podcasters just naturally angry?
This one is.
Whoa.
But he's mostly angry because his technology keeps failing.
Yeah.
What do I got to do?
I don't know.
What robot do I got to blow around here to get some technology that works?
Yeah, I know. I don't have a good answer for it.
I got a fat new computer arriving tomorrow.
Yes.
Thanks to Amazon, and we'll see. Okay, you know what? I got funny stories, right?
Sure.
That wasn't quick enough. Here's a funny story. I ordered a computer off of Amazon.
Yeah.
There are a couple notes about this computer. It is not a brand new computer because, let's face it, I can't afford a brand new computer. But I have to replace the one that we do a lot of the work of the show on, and that just died. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be replaced fast. So I found a computer that is... the computer that just died is 8 years old, so it's not really like... Right. It's like an old cat. It's like it was going to go anyway, I guess. I just hadn't thought about replacing it. This story is not funny at all so far. And so I got this new computer. This computer is probably maybe 4 years old. Mm-hmm. It's also not state of the art, top of the line, brand new.
Right.
But it's like a refurbished computer, and that means it's either something that was sent back for a minor fault, or like somebody just didn't want a blue instead of red, and they send it back. And so sometimes they have to like recondition them and put new parts in them. Sometimes they just check it and go, oh, this is fine, and then you just resell it. It's like an open box. Yeah. So you get a little money off there. But the deal is that it's a four or so years old, but they've jacked it up. So it's got a SSD drive, which is the fast, hard drive. It's got a good processor in it. It's got maxed out RAM. It's like ready to go. It's built for speed.
Mm-hmm. It's like a slightly older sports car.
What?
It's like a slightly older sports car.
No, it's like, okay, sure. It's like a slightly older car that's tuned up, that has gone through the hands of a mechanic.
Yeah.
So that's like coming. That's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get working on that.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've got it booted up and ready to go,
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google where I was going with this story and see if I can find out.
You forgot where you were going?
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, you were like, I
I'm
got
exhausted.
stories, and
I
then
know.
computer.
Yeah, I
and...
set myself up.
Oh, okay.
It was something, I don't know. It's something that related to something, but
Okay. I don't know if I can help you.
no, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Because we're both
All right.
exhausted.
I'm sorry. I wish I could help you.
What's the scientific name for mommy brain? Because I think we're all probably suffering from it a little bit,
I think it's
right?
called quarantine brain right now. Yeah.
But it's just like
that's what I think.
fatigue, attention deficit related fatigue or something.
Yeah.
Or just like sleep deprivation, right?
Yeah. That too. All of those things are happening to us right now.
I almost want to stop the show, rewind, and then listen to it.
Oh, okay.
So I can know where the hell I was going with that stupid computer story.
I don't know where you're
Anyway,
going.
I'll have a new computer soon.
Yes.
And then I got to set it up. No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it right now, and I'm not going to get it. Let's talk about our movies.
All right, let's do it. What should we start with?
Well, we watched 2 movies like we
Yes.
do every week.
Yes.
And the there's no rules, but the sort of shot or setup of this is that, you have a list
I do.
that you have been compiling for years of films that you wanted to see because you felt like you had missed them, or they were completing your movie education, or just wanted to watch a work of art, what have you.
Right.
And mine is just I'm just like, oh, well, I want to watch that.
Right.
But a lot of these films are movies that I haven't seen before.
Yes.
One of those movies is 1991's Thelma and Louise, which was my pick for this week.
Yes.
Directed by Ridley Scott, starring Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis.
Yes, who were both top billed. Did you notice that?
Well, they
their
better
names came up at the same time.
Yeah.
They
They shared.
they shared top billing.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
So their names, they're Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
And also Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Brad Pitt, and Shooter McGavin himself, Christopher McDonald.
Yeah.
And I suppose I should mention Stephen Tobolowsky as well.
Yes.
Who has already been... No, wait. Groundhog Day is 92, right? So he hasn't been in Groundhog Day yet.
Okay.
He's not like a household name yet, but he's been around for a while, right?
Yeah.
When was Mississippi Burning?
Ooh. That's in the 90s, isn't it? I don't know.
I think that is in the 90s.
Yeah.
No, 88.
Oh, it's 88.
Suck
okay.
it. So...
Whoa.
So people know him as a fiery KKK leader. So the point is that this is a movie that everybody knows.
Yes.
And that's why I've never seen it.
That's why?
Yes.
Why
Even
do you
as
say
we
that?
sat down to watch it, and I thought, I got to watch this movie, right? We just got to get this out of the way. But I'd never watched it up to this point because I think about Thelma and Louise, and I think, I get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
2 women who feel, that they've been, well, they have been. I mean, they've been disabused by men, and they get in some trouble legally, and, they're going to live out there. They're going to do it for themselves.
That's right.
A Shania Twain song starts. No. And so I just was like, yeah, I get it. I don't think I really need to see that. I get it. And then we watched it.
Yes.
And I'm happy to report I got it. I didn't love this.
No, I know you didn't.
I didn't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. But when I've said that before on this show, I mean like it's fine minus. It's a little it's a little less fine than most things I call fine. I just didn't get it.
When you say you didn't get it,
I didn't.
What do you mean?
Get the point? Like it stars, Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, 2 women. It's written by a woman named Callie Corey.
Yeah.
Who is who won an Oscar for this film.
Mm-hmm.
And she created the TV series Nashville, I think.
Does that have any relation to the Robert Altman film, or is it just?
Oh, you know what? That is a good question. I've never thought about that before because I would never watch Nashville.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
Okay.
Nashville's like a a soap, right? It's like a soap
Is it?
starring Hayden Panettiere, and it's just about like the big egos of the music business in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
I don't
didn't
think-
even know what it was about. All right.
The Altman film is also kind of about that, but no, they're not connected. There's no way.
Okay.
So anyway, she's just, it's not like she's, I don't know. It's not like she's
A household
a
name.
feminist author or something like
Oh.
that. She's just a screenwriter, right?
Yeah.
Fine. So it's female screenwriter, female stars, male director Ridley Scott.
Right.
And it doesn't, to me, it just feels like, yes, it's held up as a feminist film. And I'm
Yes.
kind of like, why? It's only nominally feminist in that it actually centers onto women, and the film has the audacity to say that maybe we don't treat women quite so well.
Right.
But-
No, I hear what you're saying. Like, I had seen this before, and when I first watched it, I really liked it. But watching it again this time, I find myself not liking it as much, and I think it's because I look at films more critically than I did when I first saw this. And, I think you have a point.
I haven't finished my point. But...
Well, no. But, okay, continue.
Oh, thanks.
Hey.
I think it's just nominal name check feminism along the lines of, the Spice Girls shouting "Gal Power" or whatever.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't really. It gets close. Like it gets into or brushes past or suggests some things. But if they're going to go on like this road movie, I feel like we should have chances for them to. The movie almost comments social commentary on feminism, but it doesn't. It's like half they got done wrong. I mean, like brutally wrong. Like it's really like scary. And then it's half like, they're not perfect heroines or heroes.
No.
They have no idea what they're doing.
No.
But it's kind of fun. But they just kind of bounce around, and there's just no point. And it's ultimately a tragedy.
Yes.
But you don't feel. I don't know. I know there's this running thing with Susan Sarandon where, something happened to her in Texas, and she has to get this money, and she's got the Michael Madsen boyfriend. And when I see Michael Madsen, this is 3 years before. Is it 3? It's a couple years before he cuts a cop's ear off. So when I see Michael Madsen, I just think he's bad news. And even though he flips a table in rage, this movie, I don't think we knew what toxic masculinity was, and this movie almost effectively comments on that, but I don't think it has that punching bag to really go with. But we see flashes of that. So I'm thinking Michael Madsen, it's good that she got rid of him, but I think the movie is saying it's really tragic that she lets him go.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that it was tragic that she let him go. I kind of got that, like, they had both come to this conclusion.
Like that their relationship's over?
Yeah.
He didn't feel that way. And
she only...
But I can't understand why she felt that way other than I'm sacrificing myself because I can't even tell you what the problem is because you will become an accessory, even though it doesn't matter. Harvey Keitel's going to pick him up and quiz him anyway, so... Who cares? He is an accessory. He is an unwitting accessory, which might get him some leniency with the judge, but he flew across 2 states to give a felon, a murderer, money. Like, he is an accessory.
Yeah, I hear
and so
you.
she's just shutting him out, and I didn't understand the beats there. And Gina Davis's character, Thelma, which, by the way, is this the swan song of the name Thelma? If you type Thelma into Google, this is the only thing that comes up. Nobody is named Thelma anymore.
No.
I don't know if it's because of this movie or not. If it was Louise and Thelma, kiss Louise goodbye.
Yeah, you think
That's not
so?
a name.
Oh, okay.
But as far as it being her, like, a suppressed, immature sort of housewife becoming like a steely badass or whatever, I mean, that arc is definitely there, but why? And it's a very erratic arc.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean...
I'm not required... Keep thinking. I'm not requiring... Because there are plenty of movies like this about dudes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm not requiring a higher standard of the female Outlaw on the Run movie than I would the Bandits. Here, that's a great example. Bandits is also kind of an Outlaw on the Run movie, and it's a mess. Like, it doesn't really make any sense why Bruce Willis changes or whatever, and it just doesn't. And there's also Bandits is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and Thelma and Louise put together, because Cate Blanchett is the Thelma character. She's the housewife who yearns for something more and then hooks up with these bandits and, woo, goes buck wild or whatever.
Right.
But it's also just a mess, and none of the characters really track in their development. And I think it's Ridley Scott's fault.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I think Ridley Scott is...
Well, I mean, he's in charge of it, so...
He is the thinking man's Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
He also came from commercials. He knows how to make something look gorgeous, like a lot of this movie does.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that he interacts with the script and the narrative. He's like Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve's movies always beautiful, but there's very little story to them.
Yeah.
Generally, it's not always true, and I just come away feeling like I don't feel like we explored the whole potential of the premise or the story that we were looking at here.
Yeah.
And so I feel that way about Thelma and Louise.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wrapped up... spoilers for the end that everybody knows, the end of Thelma and Louise, but one of their original ideas was that the car would just land on the other side of the canyon and they just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that and hadn't seen the movie, I was like... Okay, it's a little more surreal than I think that we want to do in an American film. But you watch this film and you go, the whole film is leading up to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a better ending. It would make sense of the whole movie leading up to this, which is just a tragedy without being a tragedy. I don't think that you need it to be really like melancholy and like obvious that these women have to die. But then there'd be just, I don't know, like Harvey Keitel's the cop who's like, I don't know about these broads. And then in the end of the movie, he's like, no, it's got to save them. And...
Right.
Like, is he? Who is it? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think that the ending that they did, we're pretty certain that they die.
They're dead.
They're
absolutely dead.
I know, but they stopped.
They had to be
before...
killed. They had to be destroyed. They were women who dared to act up in a man's world, right?
Yeah.
But the movie, I just don't think the movie really, the way that they set up that this is a man's world is lame. There's the truck driver who's like, woo, It's just like this cartoon character.
Yep.
Shooter McGavin is just a total cartoon character. I actually kind of liked that we never saw him like smack her around. In fact, I think he's too much of a coward to smack her around. Not that, beating a woman makes you brave. I'm just saying. No. But he was, he's emotionally abusive, and so she's, sort of repressed because of that. But he's such a Looney Tune. Mm-hmm. It's hard to take him seriously. Mm-hmm. And so am I supposed to take this seriously, or is this a pastiche of a British man's view of the South and the America? It's like 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, which everybody initially went crazy for and quickly cooled on because it's just ridiculous. And it's like an Irish guy's like, this is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Yeah. I don't know who that was offensive to, but the point is, the consensus was, you don't know you're talking about, what's his name? Martin McDonough. I was going to say Neil McDonough. He's like, what are you talking about? Neil McDonough is a very good-looking American actor. The Pillow Man, Martin McDonough. People are like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Stay out of our race politics. You're some guy from Ireland.
Right. Yeah. Well, I didn't like that movie at all. So
we're talking about Thelma.
I know. I feel like they could have. I feel like this movie could have flowed better. I feel like.
I thought it flowed great.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it flowed from one kind of questionable sort of set piece to the next. I thought it was paced great, but for a woman who is, nearly brutally raped in a parking lot, and then has her would-be rapist blood all over her, and then about 18 to 24 hours later is like, let's go pick up Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I know.
And then
it's weird.
And then another day later becomes an expert bank robber, and the the hotter, the more criminal these ladies get, the hotter they get.
Yeah, you made that comment. And
They
that
go
seems to
from
be kinda
being,
true.
they go from rhinestone blouse, and long ass dress and
Yeah.
pinned up hair to like, give me that baseball cap and
I'll take that
tie
cowboy
my shirt
hat.
up right below my
Yeah.
breasts and
Yeah.
let's jump in this car and peel out.
Yeah.
Give me those Twizzlers. And I just it doesn't. There are moments and flashes of like, oh boy, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's tough to balance the goofy moments and then also like, oof, but what are we doing? But you can do it. It's possible to do, and the script doesn't do it.
I don't think that they really stop. The characters really stop and think, oh, what are we doing? I mean, there's a lot of Louise like, I got to figure this out.
Yeah, there's that line, shut up for a minute, I'm thinking, which is just in a million things and is
right.
not,
Not a great line.
necessarily original.
No. But I don't think that, I mean, they're not criminal like experts, right? So they're not necessarily good at this. But like,
Right.
But like the scene where like the cop pulls him over and everything, and then like, Thelma pulls the gun on him, and then like it just like keeps getting worse and it keeps getting worse. They escalate, but that scene is like kind of played for laughs.
That's a good scene.
It's a good scene. And they're both like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Normally we wouldn't be doing this, but blah blah blah." And then like Thelma is like, "We're wanted in 2 states." It's like, if you get on your radio, you'll find out that we're wanted for this and we're wanted for that. And I think you said to me like, "Why would you tell him that?" But I mean,
did you want to talk about the themes that I was trying to discuss before?
That it wasn't
Or did you
very
just...
pro-feminism.
We can skip to the part where no, it's absolutely pro-feminism, but it's like a feminist T-shirt. It just doesn't. What do you?
Yeah, honestly.
What do you mean here? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I know, and I think, the moment where they've had it and they literally like blow the trucker's truck up. I mean, they're what are we doing here? Are we trying to escape to Mexico so we can supposedly get new lives somehow? Even though I don't even know how that's possible at this point, or are we gonna make an example of this guy? And it doesn't seem like at that point they really care if they're going to get to Mexico or not.
So no, you don't want to talk about the themes?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I just don't. I was not interested in the way that this film was trying to explore those themes.
Yeah.
Well, it starts off very rough, and
Yeah,
it starts
does.
off with a woman, murdering a guy who
Yes.
did not get a chance to be a rapist today for something that happened to her.
Yeah.
Something that it would be great to understand her motivations and to really explore the depths of what has happened to her, what society, if you want to say, has done to her that caused all this to happen. But instead, I got a great idea. These 2 hot bitches are going to blow up an oil tanker, and a guy's going to go, dum, 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 dum,
Right.
and it's like a music video.
Right.
And I just think that's Ridley Scott. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't funny and it didn't look good. It did both of those things, but I just walked away thinking like that was cotton candy and not like a steak.
Do you think that it should have gotten more into Louise's motivations and like her like she should have talked about what happened to her more instead of just being animately like I'm
Well,
not
you were
talking about
satisfied
that?
when we watched the film. You're like, she was raped. And I was like, probably, yeah. But what's the point in the film holding this over us? Do you know what I mean? If it's supposed to be a commentary on how you can be blowing up tanker trucks and feel like a badass and still unable to confront trauma, you're meeting the movie more than halfway,
Yeah,
But if they just have this like secret, this dark secret for her, and we never find out, and it's like the movie just
doesn't really deal with it.
well, did the movie know what it was?
I feel like without saying what it was, that's what it was.
Yeah, no, I agree with your guesstimation on what it is, but I don't know. And plus, like, so they're friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what was the, except for like, we are women together, we are strong, hear us roar.
Yes.
What was the effect of their friendship? Do you know what I mean? Or like, how did being
bond?
friends and having a bond help them?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Do you know what I mean? At
I don't
the
think
end,
we
because
really
they lived
see
a
that.
little, you know, Thelma and Louise both got to act out and live a little.
Yes.
And at the end, they say that they're happy that this happened. They wouldn't change anything or whatever. Vroom, vroom into the canyon. But like,
Right.
I just didn't like. I don't think it really explored the depth of their relationship. They have ups and downs, and Thelma kind of f's up and loses all Louise's money, but
Yeah.
she doesn't really hold it against her. But we never really get any like fine detail on how anybody feels about it, or how that leads to something else. I mean, it makes them more desperate, obviously, but it doesn't really change their relationship at all. And there's no even in like I haven't Dumb and Dumber. I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber, but is there a scene in Dumb and Dumber where the two dumb guys get mad at each other, but eventually they are friends again?
Probably.
Well, then Dumb and Dumber has a more complicated relationship between its leads than Thelma and Louise does.
Well, and I just thinking about it, not that we need to have like this huge thing or anything, but we don't really know much about their bond, just that they're best friends.
I literally just said that.
Well, okay. Well, I just mean we don't know anything about their past.
So you agree with me?
I do agree with you.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Great.
I mean,
it's a movie that doesn't talk down to you because we know that Shooter McGavin is cheating, but we never have a scene or see any evidence of that.
Right.
And I like stuff like that. But it's also a movie that I feel like will take the time to explain to you in great length some things that you just don't. It doesn't feel like the rest of the movie doesn't feel like a movie smart enough to not talk down to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. And
some great helicopter scenes, though.
Like you said, it is beautiful. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a great place to die.
Yeah, jeez, that poor car. And I just, I don't know. Like I wish it was more empowering than it actually is, you know? Like,
you don't find it empowering?
2
minutes.
Not particularly, no. I mean, like, I guess Louise hates her job, but we don't really, I mean, she never really gets into that.
It's shorthand. She's a waitress.
I know.
You know, so a kid puts ice cream in her pocket. Like, we know in movies, if a character's a waitress, they hate their job.
Right, I guess. I just feel like everything is shorthand in this. You don't think so?
No.
Oh.
Well, I guess I don't know what you mean by that. I said something was shorthand, and you're like, everything's shorthand.
No. I just...
You should have said, you wish. That's my, I told you about, that's my new thing.
Yeah, saying you wish?
Yeah, just whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
You wish.
I see. All right.
Do you know how fast you were going? You wish.
That'll get in trouble real fast, right?
Yeah. Or do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? You wish.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out. I'm picking situations.
I know you are.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here together. You wish.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, thumbs to the side for me. Let's talk about your pick. What'd you pick?
I picked Planet of the Apes, the original 1968 film with Charlton Heston.
Yes, 1968.
Yes.
Based on a novel.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
1963 novel.
Okay. Is the novel by Rod Serling, or is he just like
no?
He's a producer.
First of all, it's Rod Serling.
Oh, I said his name wrong.
Get my picture, if you will.
Serling.
Me punching you in the face for getting my name wrong.
Serling.
Serling.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
As soon as I stamp this butt out.
Okay.
I'm coming
all
over
right.
there.
All right.
And he never will, because he was just a chain smoker. Yeah, Michael Wilson and Rod Serling worked on the screenplay,
Okay.
and it was directed by Franklin Schaffner,
Okay.
who
I got no
is the
idea.
Oscar-winning director of Patton, which is on your list,
It is on my list.
and Papillon and Boys from Brazil, a lot of World War II related movies.
Wow.
But not this
okay.
one.
No.
Yeah.
No, this one's science fiction and in the future.
Way far in the future.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
700 years in the future.
So as per my list, I'd never seen this before. I had a pretty good idea of what it was about.
Yeah, this is a huge franchise, isn't it?
Yeah.
All from this
It
little
really is.
movie from 1968.
Yeah. Do you know how many? I mean, there's the new ones too. So
There
I
are
don't.
Let me just make a number that's probably wrong and yell at me all you want. I think there are 5 films,
Okay.
original films.
Okay.
4 or 5. There's a animated series. There was a TV
Wow.
series that ran maybe a season or two. I don't think it went really long.
Okay.
Then there are, of course, there's the Tim Burton movie, and then there's, I don't know, like 4 Andy Serkis ones.
Yeah.
So this is, we squeezed a lot out of this.
Yeah, we sure did.
You blew it up.
Yeah. So I mean, I knew pretty much. I think I knew a lot about this movie, and of course, I saw the
Oh,
Simpsons.
did you?
I saw the Simpsons spoof on it.
Did
which
you?
was pretty great.
You can talk. You can talk. I can sing.
Yeah, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas. Yeah, it's pretty great. And yeah, so I enjoyed this. I think I like that it's a sci-fi film that's kind of understated as it starts. Like,
Yeah, weird, huh?
yeah.
Don't you want to just wring George Lucas's scrawny neck sometimes?
Yeah, kind
And
of
then
do.
you remember he's not a little scrawny neck anymore.
Right.
Don't you want to put one of your arms around George Lucas's neck and just wring it?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Well, this is what sci-fi used to be before
Yeah.
laser swords.
Yes, exactly. So they're in a spaceship and they're on some explorative mission.
Explorative! Write it down!
Okay, I made it up. Exploring mission, and wherever they are in space, time has gone by at a different rate than on Earth.
You want me to explain?
Oh, sure.
It's the relativity.
Okay.
And it's the closer you approach the speed of light when you're traveling,
Right.
time for you slows down. This is what the twin paradox is. So if you have 2 twins,
Yes.
women,
Whoa.
thought it was going to be 2 men, but guess what? 2 women, because I saw Thelma and Louise, and I've been radicalized. I'm a feminist now.
You were a feminist before.
And
Stop.
they're twin sisters, and one gets on a spaceship and flies near the speed of light, because you can't go the speed of light,
Right.
to a planet X amount of, let's say, 5 light years away. Mm-hmm. Comes back.
She's younger than the other twin.
Yeah. No. You.
Sorry.
The amount of time that the sister on Earth will have experienced will be 5 years out, 5 years back, 10 years.
Okay.
Plus, however much slower they were, 10 years and change. Mm-hmm. But the girl who took the flight will be younger because she did not experience all those years. It did not take her
Right.
all that time.
Right. Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay. That's what okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going somewhere, and they never really give us a lot of detail on what their mission really is.
No.
But wherever they're going, it's really important. It's important enough to send them on this journey that there's 700 years of time dilation between where they're going or whatever and what's happening on Earth. So they've got 1972 is the old clock on the ship, their ship time, and their the relative time or whatever is the year like 2673 on Earth. Mm-hmm. And as it opens, like Charlton Heston's like, things are probably all different now, and everything we know is gone. I wonder, do you still kill your fellow man?
Right.
So this guy's a misanthrope. It's a good thing he's on this mission.
Right.
And it's 2 other guys and a woman Which, don't get excited that a woman's on this mission, because we
know.
find out about halfway through the film that she's just the breeder, basically. I guess they're gonna start a colony wherever they're going.
It was so unclear to me.
It's a little vague.
I was so excited. There was a female scientist, and then he calls her their Eve, and then I just hate it. You know, I'm just like,
well,
yeah, but she dies. Spoiler.
Pity Linda Harrison instead.
Yeah, I know, right?
Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, she
Boom.
dies. Get her out of there.
Yeah. Before their ship lands on this
They crash on a strange planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the strange planet looks a lot like the Grand Canyon, kind of like
We got a 2-hour movie to get through.
I know.
And
so all the other 3 astronauts survive, and they start exploring, and they find
out that Charlton Heston's character is Dick.
Yeah.
He's like a real asshole.
He's a jerk.
Yeah.
He's like laughing at them and like, all your family and everybody you cared about is dead. It's like, did you guys have this conversation before?
He's doing that thing too that like pricks do, where he's trying to like analyze them, and he's like, so I've got you figured out. You know, you're the golden boy. You know, but what about him? Oh, he would jump in a volcano, and then he could learn something nobody else knows.
Right.
But me, well, I defy any kind of analysis.
Right.
Like,
I know.
Well, I think you're a prick. I think that's what it is. I think it's fascinating. Oh, yeah. So they find primitive humans, and there's civilized apes that are trying to get them.
Yes.
Hilarity ensues. And
yes.
Yeah. It's a great... I'd never seen this movie.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Just never did. Now, the funny thing is, I've seen Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I feel like that was on TV nonstop when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I've seen the Tim Burton movie.
Okay.
So I don't want to be treated any differently. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a franchise I never really got into. And now I regret it because this movie's awesome. I love this movie. This movie's great.
It is great.
And it's 1968, so we're going to give it, it's not 1991 when we should know better.
Right,
But
right.
we'll give it a little extra play.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's a misanthrope who
Yes.
crash lands on a planet.
Yes.
And he, learns, that like, no, man deserves a chance, you
Yes.
know, and he becomes like the biggest defender of man. And
Yes.
then at the end, he's like, oh, screw you. You blew it up.
I know.
There should be another scene where he just rides back to the monkey and he's like, do whatever. Do whatever you want with me.
No. Yeah. Yeah, so they shoot him in the throat so he can't talk for a while, and
Yeah.
I guess the primitive man can't talk for some reason.
That's a great thing. Development, or
It
whatever you want to call it.
It is. And then there's this one scientist, Zira, who ape scientist, who is like, I think he can talk. Like, he's trying to communicate with me. Yeah.
I love you, Dr. Zeus.
And nobody wants to listen to her, and she wants to study him, and then she finds out that he can write, and then we're off to the races, and her fiance are kind of curious about him.
Roddy McDowell as Cornelius.
Yes.
Yeah, she's great because she's a scientist and she's an anti-fundamentalist. And
Yes.
this movie is about fundamentalism, be it scientific or religious.
Or the
on this
combination.
planet, there is no conflict between science and faith. It's like, whoa, you should
Yeah,
check out
I
our
know.
planet.
I know.
But of course,
Yeah,
And-
Dr. Zayas.
And the movie is completely a tragedy at the end. All the humans are dead except for, there's a living death for Landon or whatever, but
Right.
except for Taylor.
Yes.
His world is crushed when he learns that it was Earth all along.
It's Earth, yeah.
And meanwhile, back with the apes, Zaius has all the evidence of
that they
civilization
developed from
destroyed,
humans, yeah.
and just to continue letting the apes live in ignorance. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's sadder than Thelma and Louise.
It is. Yeah. And
What about Nova? Where's she gonna get hair products now?
she got those before? It was probably from fruit or something like that.
Yeah, it was fructus.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbal essences.
Yes, exactly. From a guava or something
Right.
like that. Yeah. Au natural.
Taking a shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makeup's great. The makeup's great. It's,
It is great.
It's by Ben Nye.
Is it really?
It's literally by Ben Nye.
That's interesting. Okay, cool. I think it's fantastic. It's kind of, I don't want to laugh, but I kind of wanted to laugh when the apes kissed each other. Cause
they're like,
because their mouths are so far away from their actual mouths,
Yeah.
it looks. That's the one moment that's kind of like, well, that looks kind of funny, but I think it's so great. Like the rest of the time, I kind of wish that the new ones weren't like CGI. I kind of wish they were still like the makeup.
I guess it's really good CGI though. Why do they? Except for it just has to. We have to have a movie. Mm-hmm. Why do they think it's not Earth? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think from their. Maybe they couldn't get a reading right from the ship before it sank.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be like heading home, right?
Yes.
So they were heading home. They crashed. The first thing I would think is something went wrong. We crashed on Earth on the landing.
Yeah, for some reason they think that they crashed on another planet and he said somewhere by Orion.
Yeah, right.
Or something like that.
So I don't know. I don't know. I was getting a drink or something like that when that.
Do you think maybe it's been like
but
a long time? Do you think that
but,
Earth has moved where it is in the solar system?
We left it here somewhere. No.
Okay.
No, it's
right.
They pop out in the year 3782 or something like that, and that 3978. I'm sorry.
Well, I got to say, at
no.
least
The answer is no because
okay.
that means nothing astronomically.
Okay,
it would not. It would change so slightly that it doesn't matter. My thing is, and they reference this early,
yes,
but it doesn't account for the weeks and months of the action of the film. But they say that there's some haze or something like that, and they can't see like the moon or if there's a moon. Because you'd think the first time the sun goes down,
you would recognize the moon.
You know where you are.
Yeah.
But we just kind of gloss over that.
Well, and there's something with the environment has changed because they do.
Well, it was a nuclear war.
Yeah, right. They do experience lightning and thunder, but there's no rain accompanied with it.
Probably rain at some point. Right?
Yeah, I guess. But one thing I do think is interesting, and maybe this is because of the nuclear war. Like they test the soil when they first get there. So you would think if they do that, they would
strontium 90 or whatever, and
Earth. Yeah. They're like, oh, or they would at least think that's strange. It's very similar to Earth's makeup.
A lot of cesium.
Yeah. So I don't know. So
what if not Thelma, although what if the woman was
put Thelma in
what if the woman was a
Apes.
scientist? Right? You have it's not NASA. You have an ANSA. You have to pay NASA if you want to use it.
Right.
An ANSA team, and the flight jockey is a jock, right? The pilot.
Right.
You got maybe a geologist or something. Maybe she's the person who would be able to know.
I think they were trying
It's kind of dumb. It's just a bunch of humans and a bunch of people who are clearly chimpanzees, orangutans, and monkeys. They've just got gloves on their feet, those little runner's shoes.
Yeah.
And this is clearly Earth, but you have to just allow your disbelief to be suspended.
I know. I think they were trying to say that Dodson was the scientist because apparently he'll jump in a volcano if he thinks it'll prove something, And
he gets murked pretty fast.
Yeah, he does.
Music in the film, Jerry Goldsmith.
Yep.
Great job.
Yep.
Jerry Goldsmith is just everywhere. Jerry Goldsmith is the Hans Zimmer of his era.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the music in Thelma and Louise is by Hans Zimmer.
Of course.
Is it like the Highlander? Like if you kill Jerry Goldsmith, do you become Michael Giacchino or something like that?
Yeah,
We've only got room for like 3 composers at once.
Right.
A lot of ass in this G-rated movie.
Yes. A
lot of man ass.
Yeah. Naked men walking around.
It's not gay if you're an astronaut.
Yeah, they go like skinny dipping, and then they like during his trial, they're like rip his clothes off of him.
Let's see that crack again. Enter this into evidence.
I know.
And in that way, it's like a real Zardoz. I got a real Zardoz vibe from this.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah,
it's questioning the stupid feminism movie. We're questioning the nature of man and society over here.
Whoa!
I'm gonna get shot in a parking lot by Susan Sarandon.
Stop.
And it's similar to, but for some reason, Zardoz just pushes over the edge into complete, bathos. But this is. It's Roddy McDowell in a chimpanzee costume, for Christ's sake. But somehow it all maintains its dignity still,
Right, like somehow it's not
Although when
silly.
you have the tribunal do the see no evil, hear no evil thing, it's like, okay.
I know. That was like, really, guys?
But that's the religious commentary, though.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Monkey Jailer?
Please.
Stole the show.
Your favorite guy.
Stole the show, my favorite character.
What was his name again? I think it started with like a J, too.
I don't know. Did he have a
I think he had
jailer?
a name. Yeah.
Oh, well, to me, he's Monkey Jailer, and he needs a spinoff.
Yeah.
Right away. This guy, he can't catch a break. And we go back to this. This is like one of the major locations in the film is in the monkey jail.
Yeah.
We keep going back there.
Yeah.
And every time it just escalates with Monkey Jailer. Like at first he's like, I'm a monkey jailer and I do my job and I try to do it well. And then later on he's like, has to, whack Charlton Heston in the head, and then he's like got to hose him down, and every scene ends with some like injustice or some slight, and then finally Monkey Jailer just gets knocked the F out.
Yep.
As he's enjoying a cigar, just relaxing, taking his break.
And I love, like, after they tie him up, they left the cigar in his mouth, and I just thought that was a great little moment.
Yes.
This was
I can't speak for sequels, but this gets it done. It's a sin to remake this. It did it. It did it so well.
It did.
I can see sequels. You always
ends with a freaking Statue of Liberty.
It's good. You're gonna right. Like it's good. Well, let's talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
It's good, and so you're gonna have sequels, and they're gonna diminish in quality. That's just the way the world is.
Right.
But why remake this? That's the first
the
out of
original.
his many sins. That's probably the first like unforgivable sin that Tim Burton did. As far as I'm concerned.
Why else do people remake it? They think remake a film. They think they can do it better.
But how do you top this?
I know.
Maybe people remember the crappy sequels and they're like, well, we got to bring the legitimacy back to this.
I don't know. And I think the makeup in this is great. Like, it could have been really bad, but I think it's really cool, and I think it's well done.
Very good for the time, yes.
Yeah.
It's a madhouse!
I mean, I think they get the point across, like, what this story is and, like, what's at the heart of it, And shouldn't we be able to question things?
Too, when he escapes, like, into the city and he's just running around. There's some restraint. He didn't find like monkey Bloomingdale's or something like that, although that might have been funny. But, but he goes to the the Museum of Man.
Yes,
and that was cool. And then at one point he's hiding in I guess it's a church because they're having a funeral. And it made me think of Sunset Boulevard because the first time that Joe meets Norma Desmond, he's in her house. What do we see? She's having a funeral for her chimpanzee that has died, right?
Oh my god!
And so,
wow.
So I can't remember the cinematographer's name, but the cinematographer asks, Billy Wilder what he wants for that scene. How does he want to do it? And he's like, "Oh, it's your standard monkey funeral shot."
Are you freaking kidding me?
Right, like this is like the most random thing that could ever happen in a film. Well, here we are. Just, it was 18 years later, and it's a monkey funeral shot. It's the second monkey funeral shot in film history.
Yeah, it is. Oh, my gosh.
It's incredible.
Wow.
This movie is very well shot.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Absolutely.
Patton, I love Patton, but I can't remember a lot of feats of, cinematographic... Let's say.
Sure.
I gave you exposition or whatever it was. Legerdemain. But, this lot of great use of the frame and the space.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I bet the location scout just had like a full on erection. Like he found some great spots.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just it looks wild and it looks like an alien planet. You know, when they first get there. And this was all. You know, we're talking about the Grand Canyon for Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
This is filmed in Colorado Canyon.
Oh,
so,
was it Colorado? Yeah. Okay.
So, both, you know, similar.
Yes.
And kind of nearby each other. And yeah, I mean, that's all great. And so, okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
So in this film, Guy goes into the future.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he was going into the future, but he goes farther than he wanted to go into the future.
Yes.
And finds out that on Earth, a planet where apes evolved from man.
Yeah.
That's where he is, right?
Yes.
You did it. You blew it up. In Tim Burton's remake, then later in the series, Cornelius and Zira somehow time travel, and they end up in the 70s.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So it's like Planet of the Humans, right?
Sure.
In the Tim Burton film, sorry, spoilers. In the Tim Burton film,
Yeah.
something similar happens. Mark Wahlberg thinks that they're on a space mission, they're coming back, something goes wrong, and something similar happens. Like they go through like a wormhole or something like that, and he ends up on Planet of the Apes, right?
Right.
And at the end of it, he jumps in his ship and he's going to like somehow time travel back to the past. Like he's going to do something.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. They have to, once you hear time travel, you have to add time travel stuff. So he time travels basically back to the past. He lands on Earth in Washington. And he's like, thank God, you know, cars and buildings and streets and curbs. I did it. I'm back. He sees the Lincoln Monument, Lincoln Memorial. Lincoln's a monkey.
Okay.
Which is like, what?
Why
How does that even
Link
work?
In a monkey?
What?
Yeah.
But hold your criticism because
Okay.
this story has never made sense.
Yeah.
In La Planète des Singes, the original French story from 1963,
Yeah.
it's a frame story. It starts with a couple flying in a spaceship and they find like a message in a bottle basically. And it tells the story of some humans around the 26th century who end up on a planet that is an actual different planet. I think the twist of it was Earth all along. That's the Rod Serling touch.
Okay.
So they're on another planet. They find another planet where apes evolved from man. And so they go through this whole thing, and then the people escape the apes planet, come back to Earth, and they're like, we're back, we're on Earth. And they find that apes, they're met by like apes in jeeps, and they're like, what's going on?
Okay.
And then the entire frame story ends with, we find out the couple who found this bottle are an ape couple themselves in their spaceship. And they're like, this is a ridiculous comic book. Everybody knows that humans can't talk. So it's just like the whole thing is like it's just a bunch of ridiculous layers that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So you can't, I used to hate Tim Burton for that, but now I realize that this thing is already screwed up beyond belief. Like you can kind of do whatever you want with it.
Right.
Here's the biggest sin though. Taking all that out of it, which is what all the new movies are, right? It's just about monkeys who get smart because of James Franco's virus, and now there's a literal war between apes and humans on Earth, but there's no time travel in science fiction? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Right. They totally changed it. The way that the new stories are being told.
I just said that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
How do you feel about it, though?
Well, I know I like this one, so
All
I
right.
don't know.
And you are comfortable with being the new Eve, is that right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I am
All
not.
right. Well, then I guess it's death in a sleep pod for you.
Wow.
Okay, well, I think we went an hour, so I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
I guess you must have liked it. You ate all of it.
Oh, whoa.
No tip. Did you hate when servers do that?
Yeah, I know. They're trying to be funny.
Food here is terrible.
Whoa.
Such small portions. So that's it for this. I always say this week.
Yeah, I know.
It's just muscle memory.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a week before we come back, though, because we've got a lot of this stuff to do. But we'll be watching more movies as the quarantine continues.
Yes.
So come back for more COVideos.
Yes.
Came up with it in 5 seconds, not changing it. And that's it for us. We're signing off, and until next time, it'll be next time.
Yes.
Rockin' and rollin'.